Welcome into the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Big show today, folks, with supernatural news and Parashare. Just a few of the things going on today, and then we will get to our co-hostess here. Plenty of stuff still to talk about today as far as missing scientists. We'll get into that today. There's a brand new one, as a matter of fact. The conspiracy continues. It's not just General McCaslin, so we'll get into that today. We're going to talk about the next step in the space program when it comes to the moon. There's competition as far as manufacturers and spacecraft and what we take to the moon. We'll talk about that today as well. There's another celebrity that says that they have talked to their widow for an hour at a time. We'll talk about that. Voices told a woman that she had a brain tumor, and it turned out that she did. That's on our docket today. And summer is 30 days longer. No matter what people may think about climate change, scientists are telling you that the seasons are changing. We'll talk about that today as well. And for our palate cleanser today, yes, there is a palate cleanser today. Well, let's put it this way. It's an interesting one. Our palate cleanser today, we'll put it this way. It's in the toilet. We'll put it that way. All right. Now, for our co-hostess today, we'll just put it this way. She's intelligent. She's witty. She's fascinating. She brings the funny. And yes, she's the eater of world, destroyer of charts. Bender himself has said he now pledges his allegiance to her, so much so that he's shipped his family off to a whole different country. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Jessica Freeburg. Jess, how you doing?
Hey, I'm great. I'm excited to be here on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got you for a whole different topic indeed.
Yay.
Yeah, you have to shift gears mentally. That's I
See
hope,
if I can do it, Tim.
I think
it's a lot of pressure.
I think you're up for the challenge. That's for sure. Well, we'll jump into it today right away with this interesting story that, I brought it up with Travis a couple of weeks ago when I said, yeah, General McCaslin's missing, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, yeah, but did you know there's 9 other people missing that are connected? And I went,
Really?
Yeah. And then he named them all. And he said,
But the news is only talking about the one.
Only the one. Only General McCaslin. And they're barely talking about General McCaslin. I mean, there's some news sources that keep him in the news and say, oh, by the way, yeah, he's still missing. But it's pretty much a dead case. And when they talk about General McCaslin, they make it sound like, yeah, well, he might have had some either mental health issues going on, or maybe he had some dementia issues going on because he had left some stuff behind and just took his gun. So maybe he was looking to end it all. But there's very few people who go, but you know what? It kind of stinks of a CIA psyop. Because there's
scary.
Others that have done the exact same thing. And within this realm of scientists and people who have had things to do with reverse technology in the UFO field, and they've all come up missing within the last couple of years. So what exactly is going on? Now, it's only been within the last week or two that Congress has said, okay, enough's enough. Now we want to investigate why these people are missing. And interestingly enough, TMZ now has a DC correspondence chapter, which is 3 people, but they're roaming around Capitol Hill and they're getting in with certain senators and representatives. And 2 of the representatives they've got in with, Tim Burchett and Anna Paulina Luna, who are part of the disclosure committee, for lack of a better term, are also 2 of the ones who want to get in and find out what's going on with these missing scientists. They're the ones who are saying, as part of an offshoot of the disclosure committee, are saying there's a reason why these people are missing and we need to find out why.
Right.
What's going on.
Do they have any theories?
They don't say anything as far as what they, you have to kind of remain somewhat impartial.
Yeah.
But they're starting the investigation now as to where these people have gone. And they're putting, quote unquote, their best people on it. I don't know what that means as far as the government goes, but they're putting their best people on it. Yeah. But a new scientist has come up missing. A UFO-linked scientist who warned, "My life is in danger," before she was found dead at the age of 34.
Oh, my goodness. Not just missing, dead.
Dead.
Oh, my gosh.
Becomes the 11th mysterious case. A scientist experimenting with anti-gravity tech was found dead at 34 after warning that her life could be in danger, marking another mysterious case of deaths and disappearances in recent years. Amy Eskridge was just 34 years old when she allegedly died from a self-inflicted gunshot to the head in Huntsville, Alabama, on June 11th of 2022. However, neither the police nor the medical examiners have publicly released any details of an investigation ever taking place. Before her death, she was openly researching and trying to develop anti-gravity technology, a way to control or cancel out gravity, which could revolutionize space travel and energy production. Anti-gravity propulsion has also been widely discussed by UFO researchers who have claimed this advanced technology is what allows alien spacecraft to achieve impossible speeds. Conspiracy theorists have also claimed the U.S. military has been experimenting with this technology for years, but the government has denied that alien technology exists. I can tell you this much. Those theorists are onto something.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah. In 2020, Eskridge stated she was planning to present novel foundational work regarding anti-gravity, but needed approval from NASA. Since her passing, shocking details, including an unearthed interview with Eskridge herself and independent findings submitted to Congress, have claimed that the death was not a suicide and was instead part of an elaborate murder conspiracy. Eskridge's death marks the 11th person with ties to America's space or nuclear secrets who has died or mysteriously vanished in recent years, putting U.S. national security experts on edge. The Daily Mail has reached out to Eskridge's family as well as medical officials in Huntsville for comment on the circumstances surrounding her death. The scientist also claimed that she specifically co-founded her research company, the Institute for Exotic Science, to create a public-facing persona to disclose anti-gravity technology. Eskridge said during the podcast, "If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off."
Yikes.
She herself said that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she knew.
She knew.
Something was coming. Yeah. So scary.
The full quote is, "If you stick your neck out in private, they will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news. That's why the Institute exists."
Wow. I mean,
she very much.
I believe it. There's so much going on that we don't know about.
Yeah. She very much wanted to be public and out front. So that.
And then she ends up dead.
Yeah. At 34.
Ugh.
However, the Institute for Exotic Science has apparently closed since its co-founder's death, and its website is no longer accessible. That's unusual. Files of the company's records and mission statement have emerged online, including detailed studies of anti-gravity propulsion and pictures of alleged UFO-inspired aircraft. Eskridge had founded the Institute with her father, Richard Eskridge, who is a retired NASA engineer who specialized in plasma physics and fusion technology, another form of advanced propulsion. He reportedly served as the lab's chief technology officer. In 2018, Eskridge and her father delivered a presentation on behalf of their company, Holocron Engineering, describing both historical and modern experiments related to gravity modification, including alleged black projects said to be developing triangular anti-gravity craft known as TR-3B. Again, those triangles you see in the sky that seem to float over cities that are huge, that don't make any noise. Defense stuff that everybody says are alien.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're actually ours.
Yeah. Eskridge spoke in a 2020 podcast interview where she had a detailed plan for the public disclosure of UFOs and extraterrestrials, but feared the threats against her were growing more and more dire. Eskridge said, "I need to disclose soon, man. I need to publish soon because it's like escalating. It's getting more and more aggressive. This has been going on for like 4 or 5 years, and over the past 12 months, it's been escalating, like more aggressive, more invasive, digging through my underwear drawer and sexual threats."
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty heavy. Before her death, Eskridge contacted retired British intelligence officer Frank Milburn, who's been on this program, for help. I might have to get a hold of Frank again.
Yeah.
Investigating the incidents of harassment and intimidation she was allegedly the victim of, with Milburn ultimately concluding that her death was not from suicide. Both Eskridge and Milburn documented multiple occasions where she had been subjected to physical and psychological attacks, including an unknown suspect firing a directed energy weapon at her. Again, we're talking about Havana syndrome. Causing burns across her body using powerful microwaves. Milburn's findings were submitted to Congress by independent investigators in 2023. Journalist Michael Schellenberger testified before a public hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomena that Eskridge was murdered by a private aerospace company in the U.S. because she was involved in the UAP conversation. Milburn said on the Fringe Science Radio show Coast to Coast AM, somebody was after her work. It was either one of two main objectives: one, trying to get her to desist from doing the work, and two, with these attacks, with the harassment and the directed energy weapon attacks, to actually stop her, to debilitate her so she was unable to do the work. Eskridge's story appears to continue a growing trend of dead scientists who were researching key areas of technology or space exploration around the time they were murdered or found dead. Since Eskridge died in 2022, 5 other prominent researchers have died, including 2 who were murdered in their own homes. The scientists, by the way, that are missing or dead, we can name them. I have a list of them here. And then we can move on. Include, these are the ones who are dead, by the way. Nuno Loureiro, who's a nuclear fusion researcher. There's no direct connection discovered to most. Jason Thomas, who's a pharmaceutical researcher. Of course, Amy Eskridge, the anti-gravity researcher. Michael David Hicks, who's a NASA research scientist who worked on deflecting asteroids from Earth. Also dead, Frank Mywade, who is a top scientist on detecting signs of alien life, who also worked on the NASA JPL project. Also dead, Carl Grillmeyer, who is a scientist working on that same project, a scientist working on infrared telescopes, of all things. They're weird projects that these scientists are working on that you would think, well, why would they be missing? But Grillmeyer's work was found on a planet with water.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Is this like someone from a private company trying to stop them from beating them to the punchline? Is it some government conspiracy? Like what?
Or there's a shadow government that they've talked about all along.
Yeah.
That, you know, when people say, oh, there's no shadow government, or there's no one trying to keep these secrets from getting out, maybe there is.
I feel like there is. I mean,
now among the missing, of course, General William Neal McCaslin, who oversaw the research at, there's one or two bases that all connect, including Kansas City National Security Campus, Los Alamos, and Kirkland Air Force Base. And McCaslin is connected to all 3 of those. Also connected to those and missing are Stephen Garcia, Melissa Casillas, and Anthony Chavez, are all connected to McCaslin and all missing at this point.
Wow.
Which is highly unusual. Also missing and connected to the ones I mentioned who are dead is Monica Jacinto Reza, She's still missing. Although I can presume she's dead because the people around her are dead.
Right.
So
this is scary.
Yeah. And those are the 11 who are presumed missing and dead. And you have to think that it's the ones who are missing all have to do with reverse technology. The ones who are dead have to do with off-planet work and things that might have been discovered off-planet. It's very bizarre. It's bizarre
Super
stuff indeed.
weird.
Yeah, very bizarre. Meanwhile, President Trump steps out this week and says that there's some very interesting UFO files that will be released very soon.
Is he just teasing us, or is this really going to happen, Tim?
I don't know. I think, again, Jess, we get teased with, yeah, sure, we're going to throw some interesting tidbits at you. We'll see what happens. I don't know if this disclosure thing is a tease or not. I think what we're going to get is probably redacted junk. I don't think it'll be real, but President Trump has reiterated his government's commitment to releasing the country's UFO files. Now, back in February, President Donald Trump made the unexpected decision to order federal agencies to begin releasing the government's files on aliens and the UFO phenomena. Since then, however, very little has actually happened with regard to these files. A few politicians, such as Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who I mentioned earlier, have hinted that the release will still be going ahead. And we even learned that the U.S. government had registered 2 new domain names. We talked about this a few weeks ago, alien.gov and aliens.gov. But the question still stands, what are these files that President Trump's talking about? Trump himself has weighed in on the matter by stating that the release is still in the works and that there will be some very interesting documents coming very, very soon. That's a quote. He also said, as you remember, I recently directed the Secretary of War to begin releasing government files relating to UFOs and unexplained aerial phenomena, he said on Friday. Now, if the Secretary of War is releasing them, then this means that these are probably much like the previous piece of footage that came out on the nightly news, direct contact with aliens where we tried to fire upon them. Do you remember that piece of footage where we tried to fire upon a UAP and it just shrugged off that missile and kept flying?
Yeah.
I got to think it's something similar. This process is well underway, and we found many very interesting documents, I must say, and the first releases will begin very, very soon, Trump went on to say. So does this mean the release of these files is imminent? As always, we just have to wait and see. Again, folks, I stated it before, I'll state it again. Disclosure Day comes out in June. July is the anniversary of Roswell. Somewhere in between there, you'll get your files.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yep.
But I'm hopeful.
Yeah, well, I think you'll get what they want you to get, but that's when you'll get it. The interstellar invader comet 3I Atlas made a startling transformation as it passed the sun. This story came out as well this week. We hope to gain a deeper understanding of how planetismals and planets formed in a wide variety of stellar systems, including our own solar system's work. The interstellar comet 3I Atlas chemistry was changing as it made its close approach to the sun last fall, a new study has found. 3I Atlas is fascinating to scientists because it is the third object ever found passing through our solar system that was born around another star. Thus, it offers an opportunity to investigate the new materials that existed in another star system or other star systems as they were forming planets, asteroids, and comets. In the new study, researchers observed that 3I Atlas using the Subaru telescope, or they found it using the Subaru telescope, an 8.2 meter optical infrared telescope located near the summit of Mauna Kea, Hawaii, on January 7th of 2026. By applying the observational and analytical techniques we have developed through studies of solar system comets to interstellar objects, we can now directly compare comets hailing from both inside and outside the solar system and explore differences in their composition and evaluation. Team leader Yoshiharu Shinaka of the Koyama Space Science Institute in Japan said in a statement, by studying the colors of 3I Atlas's coma, the bubble of gas that surrounds comets, regardless of their origins, Shinaka and colleagues estimated the ratio of carbon dioxide to water around the interstellar invader. They discovered that this ratio had changed since 3I Atlas made its close approach to the sun on October 29th of 2025. This discovery didn't just suggest that the chemistry of 3I Atlas is changing. However, it has also provided hints about the internal structure of this interstellar object. That is because a comet's coma forms from gas that escapes from its frozen core when it passes close to the sun, and solar radiation causes solid ice to immediately change into gas, which is a process called sublimation. The change in coma chemistry observed by the team implies that the internal chemistry of 3I Atlas differs from its external chemistry. With the full-scale operation of survey telescopes in the coming years, many more interstellar objects are expected to be discovered, Shinaka said. Through studies of such objects, we hope to gain a deeper understanding of how it's a hard word this time of day, Jess. Planetesimals and planets formed in a wide variety of stellar systems, including our own solar systems, are formed. The team's research is set to appear in the Astronomical Journal on April 22nd. A peer-reviewed version appears on the paper repository site AR14. So there you go. I mentioned before there may be some competition to get back to the moon, but not amongst people, but amongst companies.
Okay.
NASA is going to basically put up the contract between SpaceX and Blue Origin as we compete to be first among humans on the moon. SpaceX and Blue Origin are both building lunar landers for the Artemis program, but only one's going to get to the moon first. I have a joke here, but do you want to put a bet on who's going to get there first?
Well, I don't know. Probably. Tell me my options again. My brain isn't cooperating.
SpaceX or Blue Origin?
I mean, I would say SpaceX. Do you think?
I guess it's Blue Origin because SpaceX keeps blowing shit up.
Well, who owns Blue Origin?
Blue Origin is Bezos.
Okay.
Although Bezos doesn't seem to be able to get anything out of orbit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just hear more about SpaceX doing stuff, but I guess, yes, you're correct. They usually are exploding.
Yeah, normally they blow up 18 rockets in order to make one.
Yeah.
Although who made the last was the last craft that went up, Artemis 2, was that made by SpaceX?
Oh, I have no idea.
Or was that a NASA built rocket? That's a good question. You know what?
I
don't know.
Google it.
I should. Let's see. Well, let's get into this story here. SpaceX and Blue Origin are both building lunar landers for the Artemis program, but only one will get to the moon first. Now that Artemis 2 has successfully returned from its journey around the moon, all eyes are on the next Artemis 3, and in particular, the lunar lander, or human landing system vehicle, that will eventually see astronauts walk on the moon during the subsequent Artemis 4 mission. Both SpaceX and Blue Origin have been developing competing lunar lander vehicles, with Musk's Starship Human Landing System, or HLS, being the obvious frontrunner. Due to delays, however, it looks as though Blue Origin's candidate may also be in the running and have a chance. Now, according to reports, one or both of the two companies' landers may have been trialed in orbit during the Artemis 3 mission, with NASA then selecting the best one for the actual Artemis 4 landing. As such, both companies will now be desperately vying to win or build the winning candidate. Both lunar landing systems are far larger than the lunar modules used during the Apollo system, an Apollo program while supporting up to 4 astronauts as opposed to just 2. The Starship HLS, in particular, is absolutely gigantic, measuring 52 meters in height, over 3 times taller than Blue Moon, while being capable of transporting over 100 tons of cargo. It could be argued, in fact, that Musk's solution to the problem is overkill, though its enormous size and capacity will no doubt prove invaluable when it comes to building a base on the moon. Whether NASA will ultimately favor Musk's behemoth over Blue Origin's more modest landing vehicle remains, for now at least, unclear. So,
Interesting.
I don't know. Let's see here. Let's pull.
I did find some information about who built the Artemis II rocket, and says it was a collaborative effort using heritage components from the retired space shuttle program. There was some stuff from Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and Lockheed Martin.
Oh, okay.
The key ones. Yeah.
So it was the NASA project, which that kind of figures, because it came together rather quickly. And it
didn't explode.
And it didn't explode. Well, they couldn't have it explode. That's the thing.
No.
And if you ever, and you know, people may get on me about this, but if you ever notice when, I still contend Musk doesn't put anything together that won't blow up. I mean, he doesn't seem to care about it, you know. But I don't think he's put together a rocket yet, a Falcon rocket that hasn't blown to smithereens. And the one thing that NASA won't stand for is another rocket that's manned that has issues.
No, I mean, that was like traumatic.
Yeah,
for everyone.
Right. I mean, for Gen X.
The whole generation.
Right. For Gen X, it's check the O-rings, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, we all remember Challenger. So it's, you know, check the O-rings. We're not going to lose another astronaut in space because of faulty equipment. So I can't imagine that NASA is going to leave it completely in Musk's hands. That they're going to.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. So, and they didn't with Artemis II. I didn't think they did. I was going to say, I didn't think Artemis II was a Musk production, and it wasn't. So, yeah, that's probably the smartest thing they've ever done. I mean, you look at, again, and if people want to argue with me, they have nothing to stand on. Just look at that dumpster truck he's got out there. I mean, that's...
We have a lot of people that get fired up if you talk bad about Elon.
I don't think they do. They do now that they know what kind of garbage he's building. But
yeah, just being a truth speaker, Tim.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of people that subscribe to a Starlink service either. So, I mean, it seems like we're kind of for as rich as the guy is. We're getting a lot of his technology thrust on us. I don't know a lot of people who rave about his stuff. I mean... Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it feels like he's just like a bored kid who just keeps playing with new toys, you know, and I wouldn't want to fly in a rocket ship built by a bored kid playing with a new toy. I want a scientist making that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was, you know what it was when he was creating things with Sam Altman, he was the first and best to market. Now that he doesn't have Sam Altman on the side, he's just the first to market.
The first, yeah.
He's not necessarily the best. He kind of he lost his best partner. Now what? You know. There's something to be said. So
yeah.
You know, you can be a great marketer, but if you don't have the great product.
Yeah, you need the good scientists on your side helping you come up with the good stuff. You can have the vision.
Yeah. I have an absolutely terrifying story in our AI section, which...
Oh, great.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do with AI, and they've crossed that realm. But our next story has to do with Dream Chaser. And you said that they reuse parts for Artemis?
It looks heritage components. So, yeah, I think so.
Heritage components is fancy for recycling.
Yeah, upcycled.
Yep.
They went to Goodwill.
That's right. Speaking of, Dream Chaser. It says, could the reusable space plane's dream be over? There's reused parts in Dream Chaser. A space plane once hoped to be the successor to NASA's space shuttle may ultimately never make it to orbit, it says here. Dream Chaser is supposed to be, and I have a picture of it here, Jess. It does bring back memories of the space shuttle.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Except for it looks like a more streamlined Cessna jet rather than the clunky space shuttle. The space shuttles were kind of clunky, but the Dream Chaser really does look like a Cessna. I mean, it's more streamlined. Work on Dream Chaser began back in 2004 when it was initially based on NASA's HL-20 personnel launch system, which was a concept that it's had itself been developed in the 80s and 90s. The idea was simple: to create a reusable space plane that could launch vertically atop a rocket and then land on a runway and be like a normal aircraft. In 2008, the project was taken over by Sierra Nevada Corporation. And although we haven't seen much of it over the years, Dream Chaser is actually still being developed to this day. The last time it was reported on progress was back in 2017, when it achieved a free flight test over the Mojave Desert, with plans at the time to have it dock with the International Space Station in 2020. As of 2026, however, the space plane has never reached orbit, mostly due to delays and technical difficulties. If Dream Chaser eventually does fly, it will be quite unlike its original premise, a crewed space plane, and more like an automated cargo delivery system that will be docking with the ISS. While the space station itself may be decommissioned soon, there are rumors of its lifespan being extended up to 2032, meaning that Dream Chaser may yet be within a shot of fulfilling a resupply contract or two. That is, if it can be readied for use in space before that opportunity wanes. As things stand, Dream Chaser is still a work in progress, and we don't know if it will eventually make it into space or not. Given its lengthy development and novel concept, however, it would be a shame if it ended up with it being canceled before making it to orbit. It's really kind of a cool concept, Dream Chaser is, but again, I think it's more experimental than anything.
Yeah, fascinating stuff, though.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's an asteroid out there. Again, we talk about near misses with the Earth, and we always wonder if we're going to get hit by an asteroid. If you were to think about it and really stay up at night thinking about it, there's so many near misses with the Earth every year that you could stay up at night worrying about whether we're going to get hit, and you would have so much anxiety you would crumble.
Yeah, you just wouldn't even bother getting out of bed anymore. It's too scary.
It is too scary. But there is an asteroid out there, Apophis, which is set for a very rare close encounter with Earth in 2029. So you could get your affairs in order if you chose to listen to this.
Live your best life from now until then. Do all the things.
That's right. Do everything you can. Run up your credit cards, max them out. A large asteroid is set to make history when it passes within 20,000 miles of our planet before the decade's up. Named ominously, one or the other, after the Egyptian god of chaos, Apophis measures 340 meters across and was first spotted by astronomers at the Kitt Peak National Observatory in Arizona in June of 2004. They've known about this one for a while.
Yikes, that's been a bit, yeah.
Yeah. What makes it particularly concerning at the time was the fact that it seemed to have a 2.7% chance of striking the Earth in 2029, making it the most dangerous space rock that we've actually known about. Fortunately, later observations saw the odds of a collision reduced to 1 in 100,000. That's still better odds than winning the lottery. When you think about it.
So there's a chance.
There is a chance. But that wasn't the end of the story, because as it turns out, Apophis will pass around 20,000 miles from the Earth's surface, providing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for astronomers to observe it. In its fact, extremely rare for such an asteroid to pass this close to us. Very rare for such a big object to get this close to the Earth. We may even be able to take pot shots at it with whatever we want.
We can throw stones at it.
That's right. It's likely that an event like this has not happened at any time in recorded human history, NASA's wrote.
Wow.
Yeah. Without a doubt, this is the first time it's happened when humans have had the technology to observe it. Apophis has been a subject of great interest for years due to its potential risk of hitting the Earth. While it did at one point score a 4 on the Torino scale, which rates objects based on impact risk, the highest any object has ever ranked, it was later downgraded to a 0 following additional observations. NASA now maintains that there is absolutely no risk posed by this object for at least the next 100 years. But then again, there's still a chance. 1 in 100,000.
Do you think they'd tell us if it was like really going to hit us? Like, I feel like they would just be like, it's going to be fine. It's not going to happen, because we'd all freak out.
I think that's the thing. You almost get the, what are you going to do about it if it is going to hit?
Right. I mean, that would be my take, would be like, okay, I'm just going to live my best life while I can. And like, if I'm meant to go out this way, this is how it's happening. But there would be a lot of people freaking out. There would be anarchy.
I think there would be a mass extinction event, but before the mass extinction event, there would be chaos and disorder.
Yeah. So, I think so too.
Yeah. I almost think world leaders would agree not to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'd be kept in the dark.
They would just be building themselves places to be safe.
I don't think there is a place with something that big. There's not a place
like even deep in the earth somehow.
Nope. No,
it's going to blow the whole planet up.
Because what happens with something that big, Jess, is even if it impacts the earth, and you try to go deep in the earth and try to live, you can't come above, or you can't come back up, because the atmosphere is torn off the earth.
Is this why they're trying to get us to the moon?
Mm. The moon, Mars, and anything else.
Yeah, because they know.
There may be something. If it's not us destroying our atmosphere, then it's something else. Then there's something else coming.
If they rush to get us on the moon before 2029, that's going to be a sign.
Oh, I'm telling you.
They're lying.
I'll put it this way. There's one of two things happening here. Either we're running through our resources faster than we know, and they're not telling us, and we need to get resources from other places and bring them back here, because that's what it sounds like the moon base is being built for. It's being built, and it sounds like they're trying to build manufacturing plants on the moon.
Oh, okay. So like mining and that sort of thing?
Yeah. Or they need an actual home planet for us to escape to. Because you see these giant triangle-shaped football field-sized ships that are meant for housing. I mean, they're biodomes almost.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Star Trek.
Yeah. I mean, what are they for?
We're just going to live in these floating ships floating around with no planet to go home to?
Maybe.
That's wild.
I mean, there's got to be a reason why things are happening rapidly. And, for years, 40, 50 years, there have been these ships that have come down and stopped us from using nuclear weapons, have stopped nuclear launches. You hear things from, service people, from servicemen and women who say, that they showed up at nuclear silos and they disabled our warheads. Well, there's a reason. Whether it's us time traveling from a different time,
right,
and doing it, or it's an actual alien who shows up and goes, nope, you're not going to use it, because we know what happens.
Interesting.
Yeah. So something happens.
Scary, Tim.
A little scary. There's also something unusual too, kind of related to that. They keep talking about, well, maybe we need to go to Mars, but I think it was Zecharia Sitchin who argued that, well, we came from Mars to here, There's a new image of Mars, and it's not the same thing that NASA saw in 1976, which suggests that the planet is changing. Maybe not for the better. A new image shows a striking contrast between Mars' desert-like terrain against dark deposits of volcanic ash.
Oh, that's not good.
No, which means there is some activity up there, and it isn't necessarily good activity, and not the activity we would like if we were going to go up there and explore. Incoming views of Mars usually show its dusty tan-colored surface littered with rocks, a familiar desert-like world that has looked more or less like the same for millions of years. However, new images of the red planet reveal a rather unfamiliar sight, a blanket of volcanic ash creeping over Mars with a muted, darker hue. The European Space Agency's Mars Express captured Mars split into two halves with a cloud of dark ash pushing against its rusty red surface. While change on Mars normally takes place over millions of years, the transforming landscape happened over mere decades. When NASA's Viking orbiters imaged the same region in 1976, the volcanic ash was notably less widespread than it is today. The unusual spread of ash may be either due to Martian winds or the removal of a layer of dust that was previously covering it, this according to ESA. Now, Mars has a long history of volcanic activity, featuring the largest volcano in the solar system, called Olympus Mons. Billions of years ago, Mars experienced massive supereruptions, which later dwindled down to less frequent activity and non-explosive lava flows. The dark blanket spreading over Mars is believed to have been made and distributed by volcanoes. Volcanic material is rich in mafic minerals, which are dark-colored minerals that contain magnesium and iron. The recent image captured by Mars Express shows a striking contrast between Mars landscape today and what it looked like several decades ago when NASA's Viking orbiters captured the same region of the planet. They showed the familiar bright tan-colored surface of Mars with a creeping blanket of darkness at the top. The new images, however, reveal how the dark-colored ash has altered the surface of Mars over the years and become much more widespread. The ash-covered areas of the planet's surface that were previously covered in sand. The two missions were exploring a region on Mars surrounding Utopia Plantatia, an ancient basin that is believed to have once hosted a body of water like a lake or an ocean. I tell you what, I'll post this article so you can see the difference between the two and check it out for yourself, because it's a little alarming to see that has changed even over just 50 years. So
yeah.
I
feel like they've been talking about colonizing Mars forever. I mean, I remember talking about that when I was in school.
Well, the story came out last week that it might not be a good idea, especially after what they've seen with the changes with the bodies of the astronauts after only 10 days going around the moon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're talking about what happens if you send astronauts to Mars, because it's not an easy trip. It takes time to get out there. And then if you send them out there, they have to be out there for a number of years. What does that do to their bodies? And they're seeing the changes in just 10 days of spaceflight with the astronauts from the moon. So is it advisable?
Right.
Are we doing more harm than good? So, until we find a atmosphere that's much like this planet, do we dare send anyone? Is it worth the risk? So, something to think about. Tell you what, we'll take our break right here. When we come back, Anthropic has done something that may alarm you. They might have pushed the line too far when it comes to AI. We'll talk about it when we come back. It's an alarming story. Also, we'll talk about a woman who heard voices telling her that she had a brain tumor. and the voices were true. We've got that story coming up. There's a new science of death. There's something happening in the brain that makes no sense. New research into the dying brain suggests that the line between life and death may be less distinct than previously thought. There's a new article out there that we'll talk about as well. There's that coming up. Scientists propose moving the city of Venice to stop it from flooding. That's coming up as well. Some interesting articles today that we'll talk about. And our palate cleanser is just going to take us straight into the toilet.
Great.
Little palate cleanser for you today. All that and more on Supernatural News. Some interesting stuff on the backside of our program today. Supernatural News and Parashare here on the best in paranormal podcasting. By the way, we need your Parashare stories. Send them in. You can either email me, tim@darknessradio.com, or if you want to send us a voice note, you can do so by going to darknessradioshow.com. Click on that blue button on the right-hand side. You can send us a voice note that takes about 2 minutes. That's how much line you have, so to speak. If you need more time, just hit that blue button again, rinse and repeat. I'll stitch it together and put your voice note here on this show. Otherwise, if you have a studio like Jess and I are sitting in, you can send us a video note. We'll air your video note right here on the program. We can see your lovely face and listen to your story. All right, when we come back, has the AI line been pushed too far? We'll talk about the line between life and death. And we will talk about the voices in one woman's head and her brain tumor. All this and much, much more. Supernatural News and Parashare on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio on a Wednesday. Supernatural News and Parashare with your buddies Jess and Tim. And Jess, this is a part of the show that Mally always hates, but I don't know about you. But buckle up, Buttercup. It's that time. It's time now to jump into our AI segment. Just going to do it with both feet. Are you ready?
Let's just go.
Let's just go. You ready? Just do it. Anthropic says its new AI model is too dangerous for public release.
What?
They've finally done it. They've crossed that line.
That doesn't instill confidence.
It doesn't, does it? Anthropic announced this week that they will hold back the full release of its new AI model because it believes it's too dangerous for the public at this new stage. The model, called Claude Mythos Preview, will be available to a select group of technology firms, including Microsoft, Apple, CrowdStrike, and Amazon Web Services, along with more than 40 organizations that build critical software infrastructure. Why make it available to anybody then?
Yeah, if it's not safe, well, how about we just scrap it?
Right. The consortium is part of Anthropic's new initiative project, Glasswing, which will focus on identifying and patching security vulnerabilities in critical software programs. The company said that the initiative was formed after the company discovered the capabilities of Mythos Preview, stating the model could reshape cybersecurity. So it has a little bit of usability.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, it'll crush humanity. But other than that, don't worry about it.
It's going to kill us all, but
it'll help you keep cyber safe. The AI firm claimed Mythos Preview already found thousands of high security vulnerabilities, including some in every major operating system and web browser that were previously unknown to the software's developers. Oh, great. Some of these vulnerabilities date back more than 2 decades, according to Anthropic.
That's wild.
Prior to AI models like Mythos, these vulnerabilities could go undetected for years given the limited security expertise on the topic. Now the technology is providing opportunities for hackers and foreign adversaries to more easily detect these vulnerabilities. Given the rate of AI progress, it will not be longer, it will not be longer before such capabilities proliferate, potentially beyond actors who are committed to deploying them safely. Anthropic wrote in its announcement, the fallout for economics, public safety, and national security could be severe. The company added Project Glasswing is an urgent attempt to put these capabilities to work for defensive purposes. Shut it all down. Right now, just shut it all down. We've gotten to the
hard thing is, we've opened a can of worms, Tim, and he cannot put the lid back on because the bad people are going to be using it to do bad things.
Yeah, well, we've gotten to the point where nothing's safe now.
No. Hey, I was just joking to my husband yesterday. I was taking all of the, you get the junk mail with all of the credit card offers and whatnot. And I always want to shred it because I don't want anyone getting that and being able to get a credit card or whatever. And then I started laughing. And I'm like, this is so silly because so much of our stuff has already been stolen over the internet anyway.
Yeah.
We get a breached letter every other week, I swear.
Yeah.
From our healthcare. I mean, places where they have all of your most personal information.
And you're getting the junk mail because most of that stuff's been breached online anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not safe.
No. Anthropic notes these capabilities, while dangerous, also provide opportunities to more easily find and fix flaws in software and make new software with fewer security bugs. They claim they can fix the system.
Yeah. I mean, I think they can.
Beware the savior that comes along and says they're the one, right? Project Glasswing is an important step toward giving defenders a durable advantage in the coming AI-driven era of cybersecurity, Anthropic wrote. Glasswing's partner companies will use Mythos Preview in their defensive security work, and findings will be shared by Anthropic for the whole industry. The organizations that build or maintain critical software infrastructure will use the model to scan first-party and on-source systems, Anthropic said. The company will commit up to $100 million in usage credits and $4 million in direct donations to open source security organizations. Yeah, but how giving will they be? There's a line between profit and giving, and then they stop.
Yeah. Right. And it's ironic, they're coming in, swooping in to save us from AI doing bad things to us, basically, is what's happening.
But Anthropic is one of those main contributors. They're the ones building it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah. Meanwhile, let me show you a creepy image here, Jess. Imagine sitting your lovely mother down in front of one of these.
You froze on me, Tim. I can't see anything.
Sorry. Okay. Well,
except your cute smiling face.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Imagine sitting your mother down in front of one of these.
What is that? That is a creepy doll.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's worse than Annabelle.
That is worse than Annabelle, isn't it?
That doll wants to kill me.
I'm gonna set down a creepy scenario for you here. One that we're just gonna combine. We're gonna play nightmare scenario here for the audience. You tell me where this goes off the rails. AI dolls offer companionship to the elderly.
Oh, it already feels bad, Tim.
South Korea's strange social care system turns to ChatGPT-enabled devices as the population ages. No, don't spend time with Grandma. Hand her an AI-enabled doll.
Seriously, go visit your mother and your grandmother.
Yeah.
So bad.
For years, whenever 78-year-old An Hee-soon felt lonely, she left her tiny studio, boarded a bus with no destination in mind, and roamed the streets of Seoul, the South Korean capital. Because why give her company? These days, she rarely takes such journeys. She has little reason to, thanks to her artificial intelligence-powered Hyadol, which is a combination of doll and the word for filial duty in Korean. It wakes on up in the morning, greets her when she returns home from her part-time job, She has a part-time job and plays her Buddhist scriptures to go to sleep.
Well, that's all very nice, but yikes.
Hayadol has been the best gift for me. She says she is like a granddaughter or a friend. That's so sad.
We're so broken.
Right?
Humanity is just lost.
On said, cuddling the plush baby-like device, causing its cheek to blush red. Oh, God, it blushes red.
It even blushes. Oh, my gosh.
Satan blushes. That's nice. I love those moments of talking to you, it said in the voice of a young girl. Please remember to keep playing with me 3 times a day.
I don't like it, Tim.
No, it's creepy.
Oh.
It's creepy as fuck, Jess. That's what it is. On's Companion is one of thousands of AI-augmented social care robots now in service in South Korea to respond to one of the world's most severe demographic crises. South Korea is now known as super-aged society, with those 65 and older now accounting for about 20% of the country's 51 million people. I have a story here of what they consider old now.
Oh, no. Is this going to make me sad?
No, maybe not.
I mean, it's already kind of sad when you think about the Golden Girls were like my age when they were filming the show.
Yeah, I know.
And even younger, I think.
Yeah. 1 in 5 elderly people also lives alone, leading to some of the highest rates of senior poverty, depression, and suicide in the developed world. Experts say that robots can help combat these challenges while easing personnel demands and long-term costs for a strained public health system that is struggling to keep pace with the needs of the rapidly aging population. Many old adults suffer from serious psychological problems due to their deteriorating health, poverty, and social isolation, said Xing Kwang Young, who's a sociology professor at Chung-Ang University in Seoul. They get little family support with few multi-generational households nowadays. Demand for elder care AI robots will increase explosively, he said. Hayadol, which operates on OpenAI's ChatGPT system, provides elderly people living alone with a sense of companionship, mimicking human interaction thanks to advanced language processing and emotional recognition systems. It is also a health monitor, issuing alerts to family members or social workers in the events of a medical emergency. About 14,000 units priced at won 1.6 min or $1,100 have been distributed across the country since 2019 through government-led public welfare programs. Social workers have praised Hayadol, which can be remotely monitored via smartphone app or a browser-based web platform, for providing a first line of support in providing care for South Korea's aged. The country has a shortfall of 100,090 care workers in 2023, which is forecast to increase to 1.15 million by 2032, rather, according to government data. What older adults fear the most is loneliness, especially when they return to an empty home, said Ki Kyun-yoon, a social worker in Gyeongdong, which is On's neighborhood. We can't be with them all the time. Hayadol fills the gaps. That's probably the scariest thing I will read all day.
It's depressing.
It is depressing. Maybe not as depressing as the next story, but that's depressing.
Oh, no.
They do say in closing that devices such as Hayadol have also raised questions about privacy and surveillance. There's also that. But they do say they think saving elders' lives should take precedence over concern about their privacy. So, I don't know, an AI Teddy Ruxpin in order to,
I mean,
it's
so sad to think that that is our logical solution to the problem of people are lonely. People need human interaction.
Yeah.
They don't need a doll.
Right. Right.
It just really says something really terrible about us.
It used to be in cultures you'd have your elderly in the home.
Yeah.
Right?
And if or in a place where you can go visit them, but you visit them.
Well, that was the next step. It used to be the elderly came home, or they were in your home to die with you in your home. You know, you brought your family into your home. And then it was, well, it's getting to be too much with our busy lifestyle, so now we send them to a home to be cared for. That's the American way of doing things.
Right.
That's only in America. And now as the world becomes Americanized, now it's, okay, now we put a robot in front of grandma?
Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah. With that being said, I'm going to send one to my mom this week. So, Mom, you're getting a robot. Learn to love it. Learn to love it. I got a chipmunk, you get a robot.
Everybody's happy.
That's how dysfunctional our families become.
Oh my goodness.
I got to love a chipmunk, you got to love a robot, Mom. That's all there is to it. All right, meanwhile, I saw this story this past week, and I don't know what to think of it. Are you a fan of Val Kilmer, the actor?
Yeah, I saw this. I know what I think of it.
Dead Hollywood legend Val Kilmer has been resurrected via AI in a controversial new movie trailer. It is a new movie that's come out for the first time ever. An actor will be resurrected via AI for a starring role. All the way through.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And it has an unusual name. Deep as the Grave is the name of the movie.
Oh, that makes it even worse.
Oh, it's got an unusual plot, Jess.
Yeah, what? I haven't heard anything about the plot or any of that.
I've researched this thing. It is an unusual movie. Hollywood legend Val Kilmer will ride once again as he is set to appear in a new historical action film made from artificial intelligence. Val passed away in April 2025 due to complications from pneumonia after a long battle with throat cancer. Filmmaker Court Voorhees cast the actor in As Deep as the Grave in 2020. Kilmer was to play the role of Father Fenton, who is a Catholic priest and Native American spiritualist. However, due to Kilmer's cancer getting worse, he never shot anything for it. Ahead of the shoot, the casting director was simply told he can't do it and he's really upset. The film was shut down for just 2 days later, and the movie unable to continue due to the story being very much designed around Val, with the Top Gun and Batman actor keen to take part. After a brief break, Voorhees used generative AI to include Kilmer in the movie after getting permission to do so from the Kilmer estate and Kilmer's children. The actor has been resurrected on screen for the role, with him featured consistently through the 1 hour and 51-minute film. Harry Potter star Tom Felton acted alongside Kilmer in the movie. When asked how the logistics worked, the filmmaker said there was a tennis ball on screen like Marvel's Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Can you imagine acting with a tennis ball?
No, I would be a terrible actor all the way around, but give me a tennis ball, it's going to turn out really bad.
Now, CinemaCon went on at Los Angeles this past week. And that's where the trailer for this was shown. And it was kind of an extended trailer. They told the Express, if we were shooting, yes, when you're in physical production, but we're in a post-production process. So they're getting this thing together. John, the producer, elaborated, Val isn't an AI-generated character. Everything beyond that is movie editing techniques to blend him into the story. What we didn't want was him to be a cameo. We didn't want him to just drop in. That's not very faithful to what the story originally was. So he actually will be woven into the story. Things we've already shot, we blend him into those scenes using this technology. When you see it, you'll see what we mean, because there are scenes where he's interacting with people we shot. By the way, this happens all the time with movies, where you re-edit things in different contexts. So this is just another reiteration of that. During the Q&A, John said that Val had given his family their blessing, noting it was an enthusiastic yes from them. They added that they wanted to approach it as ethically as possible, adhering to the SAG guidelines of the 3 C's: consent, compensation, and collaboration. The producers shared how they underwent a meticulous process of drafting and redrafting the AI of Val, admitting that it was a bold risk to take. When questioned by the host if this was genuinely a Val Kilmer performance, Court responded tactfully, "Val Kilmer influenced this performance." Another one of the film's producers in the audience stated that, irrespective of the controversy surrounding the AI recreation, we should all brace ourselves for it, as this revolutionary new approach to filmmaking is on its way, whether we approve of it or not. As Deep as the Grave is slated for release later this year.
In that last statement, it's so true. Like, people want to fight using AI, especially in the creative space, like writers. I don't know any writers that are okay with it. But I kind of am, because it's here. I mean, and it's not going away. So it's like they said, you have to embrace it. It's not going to disappear.
Right.
So you have to kind of figure out, how can I use it and work with it and not get too lost in the weeds of being upset about it. So you can really waste a lot of time being mad about stuff.
This isn't even Val Kilmer's first go-around with AI. His voice was AI for Top Gun.
That's right.
Yeah.
And honestly, I guess with the family, like, being excited about it, and it sounds like something he was excited about, and before he kind of was robbed of the ability to do it by cancer. And so I don't know. It's creepy and I don't love it, but there's a part of it that, it's a beautiful tribute to him, I suppose.
This is a still from the new movie.
It looks so real.
That's not him. That's a still from the actual new movie. And I've seen some of the trailer, and it is eerie because there's actually 3. It shows him in 3 different parts of his life. So he ages. It goes through the aging process of this priest, then turned shaman.
Interesting.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting movie. It's called his.
Yeah. Well, if we start using our likenesses for things, can we use my likeness when I was like 29?
Yeah, because you can be
Let's just
de-aged.
keep that one.
Yeah, you can be de-aged. Yeah, absolutely. You can do anything. Well, think of what they did with Star Wars with Carrie Fisher. When she died, they put her back in.
Right.
So it's not the first time.
Yeah, they've been doing this sort of thing for a while.
Yeah. And, I got to think the next thing they'll do now that they've crossed this line with Val Kilmer, they're going to cross it with, I got to think the next one is Marilyn Monroe. And maybe even James Dean. We never got, maybe James Dean is too old now and too out of touch, but why not another movie from Chris Farley? Why not,
Yeah, I would love that, actually. I love Chris Farley.
Why not a comedy from Richard Pryor? Why not Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder? Why not do another, Bustin' Loose 2? Why couldn't you? I mean, if we're going to desecrate graves, let's go all over and start doing it,
Yeah, there is a piece too where it's like using it for good. And, because there's a lot of stuff that AI is being used for that's not good, like deep fakes that make it very confusing for us to understand what is really happening in the world around us. You just can't hardly believe anything you see anymore online. So you don't know what's true and not true. So that's a sucky way to use it. This is, I don't know, creating entertainment for people, I think, is a beautiful thing. But
the other one that is going to show up in movies, and it's going to happen soon, and it depends on his estate, and his brother is Tupac. Let's face it, Tupac rules TikTok. That's all there is to it. Everybody's making a deep fake of TikTok or of Tupac on TikTok.
Yeah.
Everybody does. But either that or Mr. Rogers, one or the other, or Bob Ross. But they all do it as far as comedy goes. But someone, I think, is going to genuinely bring Tupac back to the screen.
I could see that.
and put him in a movie. I don't know how. Maybe it'll be a concert. Maybe they'll finally do that concert. I don't know. But I think it'll happen.
All of those people gone too soon.
Yeah. But again, it's up to his brother. I think he's the one who runs the estate now because mom's gone. So, but it's going to happen.
It's weird. We live in strange times.
We do. It's the fact that, but the SAG rule of the 3 C's is what you have to stick to in order to keep doing this, and you have to have living relatives that are okay with it.
I think the sad thing will be, though, the living actors who are trying to act and get into films who aren't able to get parts because they can now use AI. I mean, that's where people get really stressed and upset about it.
Yeah. And there comes a point where we do need to move on. We do need new actors. We do need new stories. We do need new trends. We need, the whole thing of, well, they don't do it as good now as they used to is a bullshit reasoning. It really is.
Yeah, we need to embrace what is actually real in the present. I think that's the thing I get scared most about with the AI stuff. It's like we're not living in actual real reality, like truly in this present moment reality. It's
right.
It's all fake and weird.
Right. When someone says to me, well, there's nobody that's so good as this past actor from 40, 50 years ago. I said, I'll tell them, we'll go look at Coleman Domingo, who's one of the greatest actors of this generation. I mean, he's set to be in, he's in Euphoria. He's in Fear the Walking Dead. He's about to play Joe Jackson in the new Michael movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he's an amazing actor. So there's that. All right, let's move on. Boy, we've got stories to cover here, and we got to get through them here. Let's see.
Okay.
The new signs of death. There's something happening in the brain that makes no sense. New research into the dying brain suggests the line between life and death may be less distinct than previously thought. For several years, Yimo Bjorgian, I believe, the professor of neurology at the University of Michigan, had been troubled by the question of what happens to us when we die. She had read about the near-death experiences of certain cardiac arrest survivors who had undergone extraordinary psychic journeys, but before being resuscitated. Sometimes these people reported traveling outside of their bodies toward overwhelming sources of light where they had been greeted by dead relatives. Others spoke of coming to new understandings of their lives or encountering beings of profound goodness. Jorgian didn't believe in the context of those stories and that they were true. She didn't think the souls of dying people actually traveled to an afterworld, but she suspected something very real was happening in those patients' brains. In her own laboratory, she had discovered that rats undergo a dramatic storm of many neurotransmitters, including serotonin and dopamine, after their hearts stop and their brains lose oxygen. She wondered if humans' near-death experiences might spring from a similar phenomenon, and if it was occurring even in people who couldn't be revived. At the time, Bjorgian began her research into patient 1. The significant understanding of death had reached an impasse. Since the 1960s, advances in resuscitation had helped revive thousands of people who might otherwise have died. About 10 to 20% of those people brought with them stories of near-death experiences in which they felt their souls or their selves had been departed from their bodies. A handful of those patients even claimed to witness from above doctors' attempts to resuscitate them. According to several international surveys and studies, 1 in 10 people claim to have had a near-death experience involving cardiac arrest or similar experience in circumstances where they may have come close to death. That's roughly 800 million souls worldwide who might have dipped a toe in the afterlife. Now, as remarkable as these near-death experiences sounded, they were consistent enough that some scientists began to believe there was truth to them. Maybe people really did have minds or souls that existed separately from their living bodies. In the 1970s, a small network of cardiologists, psychiatrists, medical sociologists, and social psychologists in North America had in Europe began investigating whether their near-death experiences prove that dying is not the end of being and that consciousness can exist independently of the brain. The field of near-death studies was then born. But by 2015, my story disappeared there. Where did it go? But by 2015, it just went off the page there, Jess.
Oh, no.
It skipped to a totally different deal.
Oh, shoot.
Well, I tell you what. Being as it's quite the long story here, I'll tell you what. We'll continue in the link that we'll leave in the story here. But there's an interesting thing that happens with patient one here. Bjorngian puts up patient one and actually does a near-death study with patient one and puts patient one into a near-death state.
Scary.
To study whether it's the brain and that if brain death actually is a physical thing or if it's a spiritual thing, and comes to a conclusion. So I'll put it in the link in this program and you can go read it for yourself. All right. Speaking of, are you familiar with the Pogues, the group The Pogues from the 80s and 90s?
Hey, that's not ringing a bell.
Okay.
Pogues.
If you're into alternative music in the 80s or in college.
Oh, no, it's probably pretty boring and mainstreamed.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm familiar with the Pogues. I had to spin them when I was at college radio. Had to listen to me like I was forced.
Ooh, English Celtic punk band.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
The Pogues. Star Shane MacGowan says he talks to his widow for an hour at a time. Victoria Mary Clark, 60, actually the dead Pogue star Shane MacGowan talks. He's dead. He talks to
his widow talks to him.
Yeah, his widow talks to him for an hour at a time. Victoria Mary Clark, who is 60, intends to reveal what Shane talks about during their spiritual channeling conversations in her memoir, which she is currently writing. Pogue's frontman Shane MacGowan talks to his widow for up to an hour at a time, she's revealed. 60-year-old Victoria Mary Clark, who married Shane in 2018 after nearly 40 years together, says she keeps notes of everything that Shane tells her. She said that she intends to reveal what Shane talks about during their spiritual channeling conversations in her memoir, which she is currently writing. Shane, famed for singing Fairy Tale of New York and A Rainy Night in Soho, died at the age of 65 in November of 2023. Despite this, however, Victoria says she regularly speaks to Shane after channeling his spirit. She said that her memoir will contain transcriptions of her chats with Shane during their spiritual communications. Speaking to Mojo Magazine in its latest edition, she says, "I've channeled him, Shane, for a few times. When he's able to communicate, I can be writing for like an hour, and he'll just be talking and talking and talking. I write everything down that he says. I'll definitely be incorporating the channeling in my memoir." She added, "I feel as if I'm listening to the kind of music that he listened to, and if I'm sitting in his chair and I'm feeling his vibe, I can tune into that frequency and I can feel him." Victoria also said that there will be more music from Shane, saying that she found 2 unheard albums in various states of completion, saying one will be released in 2027. In November this year, an album entitled 20th Century Patty, featuring artists like Bruce Springsteen, Tom Waits, David Gray, and Primal Scream singing Shane's songs, will be released. Victoria said the album was like extending Shane's life, adding, "It's like actually giving him this new lease on life that he didn't have." Speaking previously, Victoria said she could feel Shane communicating with her, adding, "I feel like he's communicating with me. I can tell him stuff and I can feel him watching me and being very much with me." So there you go. Interesting.
Yeah, I like that she can still communicate with him.
That's right.
Love beyond this lifetime.
That's right. Speaking of voices, voices told a woman that she had a brain tumor, and it turned out that she did. A very unusual medical mystery saw a woman find out about her condition from mysterious voices that she had in her own head. According to reports, the 40-year-old, who hailed from the UK, had been sitting reading when a strange voice suddenly started talking to her out of nowhere. The voice introduced itself as a former employee of Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. Weird.
What?
Yeah.
That's so specific.
It is. And claimed that it wanted to help her. To prove its authenticity, the voice even provided 3 pieces of information that she didn't know so that she could check and see if it was the real deal. So it actually gave verifiers. Sure enough, the information provided checked out. Believing that she was suffering from some sort of mental health crisis, the woman went to see a psychiatrist and was initially diagnosed with functional hallucinatory psychosis.
Oh, no.
With instructions to take medication and to attend counseling. This seemed to work to begin with, but then while she was on holiday, the voice returned, this time urging her to go to the hospital and undergo a brain scan because she had a tumor in her head. While doctors were initially reluctant to grant this wish, the woman ultimately did undergo a scan. And to everyone's amazement, it was found that she really did have a tumor in her brain. So the voice was right. She ended up having surgery to remove it, after which the voice in her head said that it was pleased to have helped and bid her goodbye, never to be heard from again.
Huh. That's a miracle.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
As bizarre as it may sound, this was a genuine case that occurred back in the 1980s and involved a very real patient and real doctors who were tasked with assessing her condition. The question is, what best explains the peculiar voice that she was hearing? Most doctors believe that the tumor itself had most likely produced the hallucinatory voice, but it was the way that the voice had provided helpful information and support that was the strangest thing about it. And the fact that it gave her...
Why would your tumor tell you it's there?
Right. Not only, and to remove it.
Yeah.
But not only that, give her verifiers of the hospital that it worked at.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, that to me as a spirit came and was like, I got to do some good stuff.
Right.
I got to help this person.
Right. Or a guardian angel, right?
Yeah.
Our next story has to do with the city of Venice. And scientists are proposing moving it. I just am combining words now, time-wise, are proposing moving it to stop it from flooding. I know you're saying, well, Tim, it's already underwater. Underwater more.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, its foundation sinking and sea levels rising, the iconic floating city might ultimately find itself underwater. One of Europe's most picturesque and unique cities, Venice is well known for its labyrinths of canals and for the fact that it is built across a series of small islands connected via hundreds of bridges. The unique layout might make the city an unforgettable place to visit, but beneath the surface, its foundations have been slowly subsiding for years, while the ocean around it may have been slowly rising. This means that with the coming decades, Venice faces potentially catastrophic flooding. Scientists have long been working to come up with a solution for this, with improved flood defenses and stronger pumps being among the more conventional possibilities. But depending on how bad things get, perhaps the most extreme option may also be the most inevitable: relocate the city, or at least its most historic buildings, onto dry land. Under extreme sea level rise, relocation of monuments to suitable inland areas and abandonment would be the only remaining strategy, which might become unavoidable in the 22nd century under current climate policies and an Antarctic ice sheet collapse. An international team of researchers wrote in a new study, planned relocation and abandonment by residents are two components of the retreat strategy. Planned relocation consists of dismantling buildings and reassembling them in new higher locations. How much, you may say, will it cost to do this? Well, such an undertaking would be unlike anything ever attempted before and would likely cost over $100 billion. $100 billion to relocate Venice.
That's quite an investment.
I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of money.
And if I did, I could think of other things to spend it on.
That's right. Two more in our palate cleanser. Neanderthal babies were larger and grew faster than human babies. So ninny, ninny, boo, boo were weak.
Makes sense.
It's essentially what that comes down to. The discovery of infant Neanderthal bones revealed that our prehistoric counterparts had a different growth rate. Despite disappearing around 40,000 years ago, the Neanderthals have been brought back into the limelight in recent years, thanks to a range of fascinating paleontological discoveries. One of the most recent, which was found in Amud Cave in Israel, is a near-complete Neanderthal baby skeleton, which dates back between 51,000 and 56,000 years. While researchers have been unable to tell if it was a boy or a girl, I'll give you a clue as to where you can look to find. An analysis of its teeth and enamel growth has determined its age to be around 6 months old when it died. Here's the strange thing about it, though. Other parts of the baby's body, such as the arms and legs, show a level of growth equivalent to that of a human baby that's 14 months old.
Whoa, so they just grow faster than we do.
Yeah, they were all basketball players. Weirdly enough, yeah, even though they didn't have basketball back then. Neanderthal infant remains found at the other sites also exhibit similar characteristics. So there you go. They were all big babies. So you had a lot of Neanderthal women walking around going, "Oh my God!"
I would not want to give birth to one of those.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on. Final story here, Jess. I teased earlier. How old is old according to science? When are you officially old? I want you to guess the age here before I tell you.
I feel like now, Tim. So right around 49.
You got a ways to go, kid.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
How old do you think?
How about 70?
You're close.
A little older?
No.
Really?
But I will go. If I do that, how old do you think old is?
I don't even know what that means.
It's a rock and roll thing from Bill and Ted. Or Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, Beavis and Butthead.
Mm-hmm.
69.
Yes. That's the magic age.
Oh.
If you're 69, that's the age you're officially deemed old according to science.
All right.
Yeah.
I got a little time ahead of me.
You got a little bit of time. Me, not so much. The results become, it says here, according to a survey of more than 2,000 Brits, you're seen as old from the age of 69. The results came as bad news to 69-year-old celebrities like Tom Hanks, Kim Cattrall, and Steve Harvey. I don't consider them that old.
I mean, I don't feel like old is until you're 80-something. Then I'm like, oh, yeah, he's old.
Yeah. For the survey, 7Cs quizzed thousands of British adults about when they think aging really starts. Previous studies have suggested the age really begins at 62. Wow. That's coming up quick.
Oh, Tim.
However, the new findings indicate that Brits' attitudes towards age are shifting. While we may be pushing the idea of old further into the future, the data suggests many of us are still putting off habits that help us age as well. And if 69 really is the new old, then the time to look after our future health isn't later, it's now, they say. Previous research had identified a clear divide between how different generations perceive aging. Recent poll of 4,000 people found that while boomers born between 1946 and 64 think old age begins at 67, their children and grandchildren believe it to be much younger. Oh, God. You ready for this? According to Gen Z, the likes of Michelle Obama, Brad Pitt, and Lisa Kudrow, who are all 62, have officially fallen into the over-the-hill category.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. The polling revealed that Gen Z think people start experiencing cognitive decline at 62.
What?
While the struggle to adapt to technology begins 3 years earlier at 59.
I mean, it just depends on the person.
Meanwhile, they believe someone no longer looks good wearing the latest fashions at 56.
How dare they?
Wow.
That's so rude.
I'm a grandpa now?
So what? You can't wear the latest fashions when you get to be 56. You have to dress dumpy and
Yep.
like an old person?
Yep. You got to start wearing plaid, I guess, at that point.
Huh.
Catherine Crenshaw, co-head of the Age Without Limits campaign, said what we often see with beliefs around age and aging is real concern at becoming older, of reaching a certain age from quite early on in our adult lives. Analysis of the data also revealed that a fifth of Gen Zers who are aged 18 to 29 don't think they'll look good when they're old. So they're already cringing at the idea.
Yeah, they're already nervous about it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But you know what? They already dress and look older anyways. Have you ever noticed that they dress really conservatively?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whereas a lot of Gen Xers dress quite casually.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a quarter of them don't expect to still have plenty of family or friends around them in their later years. Gen Zers.
No, this is very doomsday of them.
Yeah.
They're going to look old. They're going to dress frumpy. They're going to be alone.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get them one of those dolls.
Yeah, they're going to have an AI doll. Yeah. Some 27% don't think they will be in good health when they're old, or likely to believe people have less fun as they age. They think that we just fall apart.
What? I feel like as I get older, I'm happier. I have no more fucks to give, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they think we sit around and play canasta all day with ourselves.
Huh.
By the way, playing canasta with myself is the name of my new album. Oh my gosh. I said this before, but the data revealed that a significant portion of Gen Z think that people over the age of 50 will struggle to keep up with technology. That's just funny. But you know who does this though? Honest to gosh. By the way, hi Phoebe. You know who does this though? Honest to God, it's T-Mobile. T-Mobile does the 55 and over line. So it's all the kids go, oh, well, if you're over 55, you don't know how to operate a phone because T-Mobile gives you the butterfly phone.
Thanks a lot, T-Mobile.
Yeah, it's all T-Mobile's fault. You don't know how to operate a phone and T-Mobile slows down your data and then you're useless. You're done. Right?
It's all downhill.
Yeah, it's all down from 55 and it's all T-Mobile's fault. Right? We're not useless, are we, Phoebe?
No.
Look I got an iPhone. I got two of them. I still know how to run this crap. Not well, but I know how to run it.
I mean, you run it great. I think, though, to be fair, though, when you get to a certain age, if you stop engaging in technology, then you start to seem old. But as long as you are doing the things and keeping up with the stuff, you're going to seem young. So I feel like it's different for everyone.
Well, with that, we probably need a palate cleanser, don't we? Because now we found out that we're old, according to Gen Z.
Well, I got a few words for Gen Z.
Yeah, right. It turns out that summer is now, and here's your palate cleanser, besides going in the toilet. That's the other part of it, but that we're going in the toilet. It turns out that summer is 30 days longer than in the 1960s, and it's still growing. How do you like that? Longer summers, Jess. I
love longer summers.
I just gave you longer summers, according to science. Some other things may suffer, but you're getting longer summers. In a new study published by the journal Environmental Research Letters, it adds evidence to a growing body of research suggesting the summer is growing longer, arriving more abruptly, and piling up heat at an accelerating rate. You can argue with your friends on both sides of the fence. Summer's getting longer. So here's what's happening. Essentially, and we'll just wrap it up in a nutshell here. Summers across the mid-latitudes, including most of North America and Europe, now last roughly 30 days longer than they did in the 1960s. Since 1990, inland areas have been gaining more than 6 extra days of summer per decade. a rate of up to 57% faster than earlier estimates. Total summer heat accumulation is growing more than 3 times faster than it did during the 1961 to 1990 baseline period. Summer is also arriving and ending more abruptly, leaving less time for ecosystems, infrastructure, and people to adjust. So why are some cities gaining summer days faster? It comes down to the shape of each city's annual temperature curve. So like Sydney, Australia has relatively narrow range because of its coolest and warmest months. So even modest warming pushes many more days above the summer threshold. Tokyo swings through a much wider annual temperature range, meaning the same amount of warming moves fewer days across the line. Coastal areas generally share Sydney's narrower profile and may face disproportionately rapid summer expansion.
Well, there you go. Longer summers.
Longer summers. So it sounds like we're all going in the toilet, but we're getting longer summers. Literally, if you're driving around, you can go in the toilet. This is what we're ending with today.
Oh, no. Good news, bad news. Okay, let's have the bad news, Tim.
This could be a good news thing.
Okay.
You haven't totally heard me out yet.
All right. Tell me why it's good to go in the toilet. I'm ready for it.
Chinese car company has patented a voice-activated in-vehicle toilet.
Oh, that is good news. I like that.
See? You just had to hang with me there, kid.
Yeah, I get real stubborn on road trips where I'm like, I'm not stopping to use the bathroom. And then we get there and I feel like my bladder is going to explode.
Well, now let it explode in the car. A Chinese car company successfully filed a patent to put in a voice-activated in-vehicle toilet that slides out from under a passenger seat. You're welcome,
how
America.
Handy.
Yeah. You're welcome, America.
Does it also create a little stall around you so the person driving doesn't have to watch you while you go to the bathroom?
And it spritzes out a little spray into the...
Little poopery in there before you go.
Yep, little poopery. Yep. Chongqing-based automaker, Cirrus, filed an application under patent number CN224104011U. There's a test. In April of 2025, and the patent was officially authorized earlier this month. The patent filing for the in-vehicle toilet states that it is intended to satisfy users' toilet needs on long journeys. There you go, Jess. While camping or while staying in the car. The toilet, which is voice-activated, stores waste in a tank with a rotating heating element. Oh, it's got a heating element.
Ooh.
Oh, they thought of everything. Oh. To evaporate urine and dry solid waste. An exhaust fan is also included to take care of odors. They've thought of everything.
They really have.
Yeah. The company has not yet announced any vehicles that will contain the on-the-go toilet. Cirrus is not the first company to design an in-vehicle commode. Competitor Polestone previously unveiled a portable toilet consisting of a folding toilet seat that can be stored in the center console and removed to use with plastic bags. That is so cavemanish. A 1954 Rolls-Royce Silver Wraith limousine, recently sold by auction house Sotheby's, featured a gold-plated toilet that had been converted into a champagne cooler. Why would you make a champagne cooler out of it if you have a toilet in your Rolls-Royce?
That's kind of gross.
Really?
I can think of better things to put my champagne in.
Yeah, I would.
Ew.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not even a new toilet. It's converted. It's like, to me, that sounds like it's been used. Like they found an old toilet and they converted it into something gross.
Yeah, I would not put my champagne in the toity. I would use it. I would be like, yeah. I'd say, you know what? I got me a toilet in my Rolls Royce. I got me a stool. I'm going to use it. Yeah, I'm going to use it. Yeah. Why not?
I would.
I'd pimp that out. I'd put a little septic tank on the bottom of it, bottom of the car. All right. Heck yeah. All right. With that, that'll do it for today's program. Jess, what you got going on in your world?
Well, just the grind. Right in the books, Tim.
Right in the books.
Keeping busy with that.
Yeah. Binder is shaking in his boots. I can hear him from here.
And it's track season, so I'm being a track mom. So we got that going on too.
Yes, there's that going on as well. Here on this program, tomorrow on the big program. I teased yesterday that we were going to take a trip to an asylum. And we're going to do that tomorrow. Our guest tomorrow has written an interesting book. Actually, he's got a couple of books out there, but the one book he's got out there, he decided he was going to write, first of all, a fictional book, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to do so, he needed to stay 8 days straight in a haunted asylum.
Ooh, yes.
This
is my kind of guy.
Right. In order to get the proper mindset to write this fictional book, what he found in those 8 days at Missouri State Penitentiary curled his hair. And he went, you know what?
This is going to be good.
Yeah. And he went, you know what? I think I got a different book here. You know how sometimes you set out to write one book and then there's a totally different book?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he found a totally different book. The things that happened to him in those 8 days were astonishing. So we're going to sit with our guest tomorrow. We're going to talk to him about what happened at Missouri State Penitentiary. Then he's got another book on top of that with his other paranormal experiences that we'll talk to him about as well. So tomorrow on the big program, Brian, I believe it is Peony, is our guest. We'll be talking about what it took to write that initial book and the 8 straight days inside the penitentiary and what he went through.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow on the big program. All right. That'll do it for today. Again, a couple of notes for you. The executive producer of Darkness Radio is Troy Palmer. Troy, thank you for everything you do. Second, go check out the Darkness Radio Apple app. If you don't have it already, download it. If you have it already, update it. There you go. Third, True Crime Tuesday and Darkness Radio swag is available at darknessradioshow.com. Go get it and support the show. And be right back here tomorrow for Brian Peony and Missouri State Penitentiary. We'll see you tomorrow right here. For Jessica Freeburg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you for continuing to watch and listen to the best in paranormal program. This is Darkness Radio.